A Halloween horror gun violence darkens Orlando's festivities. Halloween night in Orlando, Florida turned into a scene of tragedy as gunfire erupted amidst the festive celebrations. What was meant to be a night of joy and spooky fun quickly descended into chaos and fear. Families, friends and children, all dressed in their creative costumes, were suddenly thrust into a nightmare. The incident occurred shortly after 1 a.m. near the intersection of Orange Avenue and Central Boulevard, a popular gathering spot for Halloween revelers. This area, known for its vibrant nightlife and festive atmosphere, was transformed into a scene of terror and confusion. The vibrant atmosphere of costumes and laughter was shattered as a series of gunshots sent panicked crowds running for safety. The joyous sounds of celebration were replaced by screams and the urgent calls of first responders. People scattered in all directions, seeking refuge from the unexpected violence. This horrific event has left the city reeling, with 2 people dead and 6 others injured. The victims, whose lives were abruptly cut short, leave behind grieving families and friends. Those injured are now facing a long road to recovery, both physically and emotionally. The shooting is a stark reminder of the pervasive issue of gun violence plaguing communities across America. It highlights the urgent need for comprehensive measures to address this epidemic. Communities are left to grapple with the aftermath, holding vigils and protests, demanding change and justice. As investigators work tirelessly to piece together the events of that night, the nation mourns with Orlando, grappling with the senseless loss of life and the enduring trauma inflicted on the victims, their families, and the community. The makeshift memorials, adorned with candles and flowers, stand as a poignant reminder of the lives lost and the urgent need for action to prevent such tragedies in the future. The community's resilience and solidarity in the face of such horror are a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and overcome. The night unfolds, chaos erupts amidst celebrations. The heart of Orlando's entertainment district was teeming with Halloween revelers, the air thick with anticipation and excitement. Costumes added a surreal air to the bustling crowds as friends and strangers alike reveled in the festive atmosphere. Just past 1 a.m., the celebratory mood was shattered by the unmistakable staccato of gunfire. Witnesses described a scene of instant chaos as the sound of gunshots ripped through the air. Panic-stricken people scrambled for cover, desperate to escape the line of fire. The joyous revelry transformed into a scramble for survival, as the festive atmosphere was replaced by the chilling realization of a mass shooting unfolding before their eyes. Victims of a senseless act, lives lost and forever changed. The community gathers to remember those who were taken too soon, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight. Each flame represents a life, a story, a future that was abruptly halted. The victims of the Orlando shooting were individuals whose lives were tragically cut short or forever altered while enjoying a night of Halloween celebrations. What was meant to be a night of fun and festivity turned into a scene of horror and chaos. The streets, once filled with laughter and joy, were now marked by fear and confusion. 2 young men, their identities yet to be released, lost their lives in the hail of gunfire. They were sons, brothers, friends, and members of the community. Their dreams and aspirations were cruelly snatched away in an instant. The scene was one of devastation, with emergency responders working tirelessly to save lives amidst the chaos. Their families and friends are left grappling with the unimaginable pain of their sudden and senseless loss. The grief is palpable, as loved ones cling to each other for support, trying to make sense of the senseless. The community has come together, creating memorials with pictures, flowers, and messages of love and remembrance. The 6 injured victims, ranging in age from 19 to 39, were rushed to Orlando Regional Medical Center for treatment. The medical staff worked around the clock, doing everything in their power to stabilize and care for the wounded. Each stretcher carried not just a patient, but a story of survival and resilience. While their conditions have been reported as stable, the physical and emotional scars of that night will likely remain long after their physical wounds have healed. The road to recovery will be long and arduous, filled with both physical rehabilitation and emotional healing. Families sit by the bedsides of their loved ones, holding hands and offering words of comfort and hope. The entire community shares in the collective grief and offers support to those whose lives have been irrevocably changed by this tragedy. Vigils and memorials have become a place of solace, where people come together to mourn, remember, and find strength in unity. The outpouring of love and support is a testament to the resilience and compassion of the human spirit as the community vows to stand together in the face of such senseless violence. Section 4, Swift Response, Lingering Questions, Law Enforcement's Role. The Orlando Police Department responded swiftly to the scene, their presence already heightened due to the Halloween festivities. Within moments of the first shots, officers were on the scene, engaging the shooter and working to secure the area. Their quick response and decisive actions undoubtedly prevented further casualties and brought a semblance of order to the chaotic scene. The suspect, identified as 17-year-old Jalen Dwayne Edgar, was apprehended at the scene. While the investigation is still in its early stages, authorities are working diligently to determine the motive behind this senseless act of violence. The community grapples with unanswered questions as investigators piece together the events leading up to the shooting, searching for answers in the hope of preventing such tragedies from happening again. Section 5, Orlando Mourns. A community grapples with grief and outrage. The Orlando community is no stranger to the horrors of gun violence, still bearing the scars of the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. This latest incident has reopened old wounds and ignited a fresh wave of grief, anger, and frustration. The city mourns the loss of innocent lives while grappling with the realization that such violence can strike anywhere, at any time. Local officials have expressed their condolences and pledged support to the victims' families and the community. Mental health services have been made available to those struggling to cope with the trauma of the event. The outpouring of support from within Orlando and across the nation reflects the collective sorrow and the shared determination to address the root causes of gun violence. Section 6, A Troubled Past. Unraveling the suspect's history. As investigators delve into the background of the alleged shooter, Jalen Dwayne Edgar, a disturbing pattern begins to emerge. The process of piecing together Edgar's history is meticulous and involves sifting through a myriad of documents, interviews, and past records. Each piece of information adds a layer to the complex puzzle of his life, revealing a trajectory marked by turmoil and conflict. Court records reveal a prior arrest for grand theft auto in 2023, raising concerns about potential warning signs that may have been missed. This arrest, which occurred when Edgar was just 18, paints a picture of a young man already entangled in criminal activities. The details of the case suggest a deeper struggle with authority and societal norms, hinting at underlying issues that may have gone unaddressed. The investigation is ongoing, and authorities are working to determine if Edgar's past holds any clues to his motive on that fateful Halloween night. Detectives are meticulously examining every aspect of his life, from his family background to his social interactions, in an effort to understand what might have driven him to commit such a heinous act. They are also looking into his mental health history, searching for any signs of distress or instability that could have contributed to his actions. The revelation of Edgar's prior arrest has sparked debate about the effectiveness of the juvenile justice system and the need for early intervention programs. Critics argue that the system failed to rehabilitate Edgar, allowing him to slip through the cracks and continue down a path of criminal behavior. They point to the lack of resources and support for at-risk youth as a significant factor in his downward spiral. Some argue that more should have been done to address Edgar's previous offenses, while others caution against rushing to judgment before all the facts are known. This debate highlights the broader societal issues at play, including the challenges of balancing justice and rehabilitation, and the role of community support in preventing future tragedies. It also raises questions about the responsibility of various institutions, from schools to social services, in identifying and addressing early signs of trouble. The tragedy has ignited a crucial conversation about the complex interplay of mental health, societal factors, and access to firearms. Advocates for mental health reform emphasize the need for better screening and treatment options, while gun control proponents call for stricter regulations to prevent individuals with a history of violence from obtaining weapons. This multifaceted issue underscores the importance of a comprehensive approach to addressing the root causes of such incidents, involving collaboration between law enforcement, mental health professionals, and community organizations. Section 7, The Long Road Ahead, Justice, Healing, and the Gun Control Debate. As the investigation into the Orlando shooting continues, the community faces a long and arduous road to healing. The legal process will take its course, seeking justice for the victims and their families. Jalen Dwayne Edgar is facing serious charges, and the possibility of additional charges remains as authorities gather more evidence. The Orlando shooting has reignited the national debate on gun control, with advocates calling for stricter legislation and opponents defending the Second Amendment. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of gun violence and the urgent need for comprehensive solutions. As the nation grapples with this tragedy, the voices calling for change grow louder, demanding action to prevent future tragedies and build a safer future for all.